You know, my family are from Scotland.
Really?
So I grew up in Australia. I live in New York City now, but...
You're from Perth, aren't you?
I'm from Perth. So it's nice when
Not this Perth.
It's nice when you drive past, and now when they say, "Are you from Perth?" and they say Perth, Scotland, or Perth, Australia. So I'm loving doing an action film. I think it's really great.
Yeah.
I like the films like Born Supremacy and Tomb Raider. It's just nice to have the female as the heroine.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a little easier than my films I've done before. Little less dialogue than In Treatment that I did on HBO.
Which I love.
Thank you. So that was a lot of... So I think it's good to break it up a little bit. Bit of action, bit of this, bit of that.
Well, I remember watching you in, I was going to say Home and Away there, but I remember that because everyone in Britain remembers that.
It was like the prime of your teen years. Of course you would remember.
Does that annoy you at all?
Not at all. That's where you come from.
Yeah.
It's who you are.
It's not exactly cool these days, is it, to say I watch Home and Away?
Not now.
Not that I still watch Home and Away.
Not now. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it since I left, which was 16 years ago. But, you know, it's fine to talk about it because your career is just going great. I think
you might not be here now if it wasn't for that. Cause you got
no, it wouldn't have been for that.
Exactly. So.
It would not have been for that. That's a definite
just a lot of actors are like that.
No, look, here's the thing. I think it taught me to be resilient. It taught me, you know, I was only 16 years old, so it taught me how to it was amazing. I mean, imagine being that young and being on a show that was pretty much the biggest gig in Australia back then. I mean, you know, I think it's wonderful. I love the fact that my life, sometimes I'm sitting in New York City and I think, wow, how did that happen, you know? But it's good.
Yeah, and I know we're mainly talking about this film, but I watched you recently in Triangle as well.
Oh my God.
Which is brilliant.
Thank you.
Just such a mind bender.
Mind bender. I like the films like The Game. Or when I did Mulholland Drive, I remember shooting that, saying to David Lynch, I mean, what was it about? You know. But what was beautiful about doing a movie like that is, you know, I'd never seen an actress on screen that much. I was scared that everyone would be bored. There were so many Jesses running around. But it was great to think, like my take on it was that she had like a schizophrenia. It was all in her head.
Okay.
And that's what the director and I sort of ran with.
Okay.
And then a lot of other people think she was just in a loop, but of course that's not possible. But in the mind, it could be.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a beautiful take on that. And once again, you sit down, you read 10 scripts. 8 of them, you're the wife, or you're in a comedy. I mean, I just did a comedy with Martin Freeman, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
Swinging with the Pinkles comes out this year.
British comedy?
British, yeah. So much fun. But this was one that I was like, okay, it's going to be intense, but I've never seen an actress be on screen that much. And even though it's a thriller and it's a little bit tough to make, out of the 10 that are on the table, I'm going to go with the one that that stretches me a little bit.
Yeah. So this one
is great. It's Sean Harris.
He's fantastic.
Phenomenal.
It's an amazing cast. I was looking
Cal
through the list.
Roden. We've got Eamon Walker. We've got Ed Spaliers from Aragon, who's just divine and reminds me so much of Heath Ledger. No, just his sound of his voice, having known Heath from before. It's lovely. It's really lovely to be here and just have the opportunity to be offered a great, strong lead.
Yeah.
It's hard for us, you know. Females get like you know, in a movie it's like one leading lady and that's it. So it's really hard to get the ones that are really good. So this year, I mean, I'm going to shoot this and then I'm going to do a film called Stolen with Mads Mikkelsen and Keisha Castle-Hughes. That's a period piece.
Right.
And it's phenomenal. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. So I'm going to sort of break it up a bit this year. But I'm loving doing the rock climbing here and having Di Gilbert, who climbed Everest, and just walking that mountain the other day, and just each step, she was telling me stories about climbing Everest.
Yeah.
Lots of running and diving and jumping and cat and mouse. It's very, it's an action flick. I mean, it's an adventure film. And it's great because I find this little girl, so it's sort of like a kidnapping story.
Right.
And we get in the way. We sort of find the girl and take her. And I take her on this journey with me to safety.
Right.
So I'm going to have to be doing rock climbing and carrying a little girl.
So you become the sort of mother figure then, but...
Yeah, and she's really like against it at the beginning. But it's exciting. I mean, we dive off the rapids and I have this little girl and I have to take her to safety. So it's not just an action film. It's also got a great undertone. She's very caring and... don't know. I hope it turns out good.
Yeah, because it's quite rare for Scotland. The question that mainly I've got here is action thrills in Scotland just don't go together. We just don't get that.
No, but you know what they love?
Deserves
Look at the scenery.
We deserve it, don't we?
We deserve it.
You know,
well, you deserve it. My family is Scottish too. But
whereabouts are they from?
they're from outside of Glasgow. Cool. Yeah. So that's great. I went and got my tweed hat the other day and my little scarf and my, felt very Scottish. I think the scenery deserves it. I mean, you look at Braveheart and you look at all the beautiful movies shot here, and why not have a running action film, rock climbing,
exactly,
with this beautiful scenery? It's stunning. Tane and
Yeah.
Dornoch and the castles around here.
Yeah.
The Culloden House, which is where I've been staying, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm flipping out about it. My husband's from Chile.
Right.
So he's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Chile is gorgeous too, but this is pretty special. We're so far north, we couldn't believe it. We're watching the weather, we're like, Inverness. Oh my God,
Yeah.
like it's so far north, but it's beautiful. It's been great.
And you were an Alias, of course. I used to watch Alias.
That was hardcore action.
And this is it. So you're used to the action, aren't you?
I am, I guess, when you're filming, but I never
You
do
look like
action
you
in my...
are.
Exactly, that's
Exactly,
what's
yeah.
so funny. My husband laughs at me and goes,
Yeah.
why the hell are you the action girl?
Yeah.
I live in New York City and Buenos Aires. I mean, I live in a European... I don't run in the mountains and, I don't do that, but I'm good at it.
So why are you doing? What is it about you that is it because you
I'm strong. I'm very strong and resilient, being Australian. I think, I was a champion skater, so I have the stability and the strength, and I can climb, I can run fast. I mean, I can do these things, but I just don't, because as a child I did that. But I don't really love it. But the rock climbing aspect has been addictive. When your hand hits that hot rock, and you find a hand, like in nature, something that you put your nails in, and you can climb up, there's nothing better than that feeling. It's been pretty great. I don't know why people cast me in that. But what's great is I think for me when I did Grey's Anatomy last year, in the scrubs and playing a doctor, well, she was an intern, and then In Treatment, and I just think now I need to get out in the fresh air and do something a bit wild, and it's interesting.
Do you think there's scope for a sequel at all, or is it just is it pretty much self-contained? And
I think the director wanted to call it A Lonelier Place to Die and shoot it in Alaska or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you might have to recast.
a John McClane kind of character.
Right.
Everywhere she goes, there's.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that would be good. I mean, sequels are always really good. Yeah. They did a sequel to 30 Days a Night, but I turned that down.
So you can do much more in Britain then? Is it just you just take what comes at you then? Do you you're saying you had with Triangle, you had a choice of kind of scripts.
Yeah, I just liked that because I wanted to sort of see how it would work, how a story like that would work, and it worked great. And then, Finkel's was fun because it was Mandy Moore and Jerry Stiller and Martin Freeman. I play a broad Australian with a perm, so that was great.
Your accent's changed a little bit, isn't it?
Huh?
Your accent's changed a little bit from Home and Away.
Oh yeah, I'm more American now,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I've been in the States for 12 years, so American. But when I go back to Australia, it's really... And also, I'm playing American in this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm probably more in the accent than usual. She's a real champion rock climber, and she takes a couple of friends with her, and she's all about sort of precision, and she's all about, But I think you really see the character more so throughout the end of the film, just her strength. But at the beginning, you're sort of just seeing this great rock climber, and they're out there, and she's all about rhythm, and she's very methodical, and of course when they see that girl, I think she just takes a step back thinking this is ruining her entire trip. But then she comes around and she becomes stronger than ever. Look, it's weird because action films you shoot very short bits at a time, so you never get like a full rhythm. Like on The Tree was like 25 minutes, you get this is just chop and start. And she's the only American too. Everybody else in this is Scottish or British. I didn't know what accent to do for this. That was a big decision. Do I play Australian? Do I play British? And I thought, I live in the States. It's easier for me. I might as well just play American. But I like that.
Good for the sales, isn't it?
I think so too. I think
it's always been the way, isn't it? You watch some of these old films. We've watched lots of 60s films recently, and they always have like American in there just randomly. You think, what are they doing there?
Just to help the sales.
Yeah.
No subtitles for American. And we'll just leave her and all the Scottish, like Gary and all that. They're going to have to put something. He's so I love it. The accent's so brilliant.
Is that a different atmosphere? I mean, again, not trying to say the Scots are different, but are you getting just for the locals, I guess, almost?
Not really. It's
No.
even better. It's even better in many ways. I mean, of course, we can't take a huge crew because of the locations that we're shooting at, like that boulder falling. I mean, if we had even one more person, it would have been a disaster. Yeah, it was not fun. But no, I think it's great. I mean, just to have this. I mean, Scots are so. Even the actors that we have in the States that are Scottish that are doing really well. Everyone's familiar with the accent and the way they are, and they have a great sensibility. They're more fun in many ways, and we've got a lot of Dutch too on the crew.
Right.
Crazy Dutchies running around singing songs, and so there's a lot of Europeans as well on this set. I love it. It makes it more colourful.
It's good fun.
A lot of fun.
And I heard there's no romance in here as well. There's not a romantic subplot or anything.
No, there's not really. They sort of. I mean, Ed's character, my character, obviously had a history together because they joke about certain things. Like we're playing Snap. No, we're playing poker, and Ed's character says, we should have stuck to Snap, and I say, you can't move your hands fast enough. And he looks at me and says, well, we both know that's not true. So little comments that we added in, it was ad-lib, whether it makes the film or not. Yeah. But I think they obviously had something there. But he makes me smile, Ed. He makes me just giggle. He's so funny. So I think they have something there, and I think it's nice that the two of them go on the journey together.
It just kind of makes a change, isn't it? Because usually in most films, it's like there has to be some sort of romance.
No time. It's like in Born Supremacy and Jason Bourne, he's not like that. He's on a mission.
Yeah.
You're on a mission, and this is what she's on, so it's good.
Do you think you could be the next Jack Bauer, female Jack Bauer? Would you want to do a TV show or?
I get offered many of those. I think I've had several offers for TV shows this year, and it's just not right. After In Treatment, I'm like, if I'm going to do TV, it has to be good TV.
There's not a lot out there, is there?
Not really. I'm really frustrated with that. It's like there's not a lot of good stuff. And I want to shoot in New York, not LA.
Right.
So I've got a lot of rules now.
So you want HBO really to make
HBO in New York.
Let's get that on the tape.
HBO in New York, because the beauty about shooting HBO is when the executives are on set, they admire, they cast you because you're good for that part. They don't come in and try and change you. They let the director do what they want. The actor wants to say something, they give you creative freedom. You don't get that on many shows. They're ripping up pages, say you can't say that, you can't do that. It's HBO, you can swear, you can be naked if you want to, if that's what you want to do.
Dance, swear,
But I'm looking forward to making a change too. I'm looking forward to changing direction a little bit this year. We'll see what happens.
Is that with the period piece you're saying?
Yeah, I think. Look, I just love to act. I like drawing. I love all of it. But I'm going to make some good decisions.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take a risk anyway when you take on a film. You don't know, the script could be brilliant, the director, the actors in it, but the way they edit it and promote it can really destroy it. Or you could be shooting a movie that's kind of okay on the page, shoot is pretty bad, and then it turns out brilliant and does well. Like, you can never tell. If we knew the secret to success, we would all be, So I think each job is a little bit of an experiment, really.
Another one in Scotland, though, of course.
Oh my God! But I've been here before. What I love is I came here 15 years ago. When I was at the peak of Home and Away, I used to come here and had a clothing line at Marks and Spencer. I had like businesses all over the joint, and so I used to go up to Manchester and then come up to Scotland and do all my appearances at nightclubs and things. Never did the panto thing. I turned that down.
A lot of money in them.
I know, but I was always like, no, I don't want to do that route. I want to do film. So I did Dark City with William Hurt and Jennifer Connelly, and then I did.
The director's cut recently.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It was brilliant. So I took that instead of doing a panto, and then I did the Limey. And then I did Mulholland Drive. So you know what I mean? Like I made some interesting decisions, I think.
I adore the Limey. That's one of my favourite films. I've watched that so many times. The commentary's fantastic.
So good.
And they sort of half fall out with each other in the commentary.
Oh yeah. It's brilliant. And I saw Soderbergh not long ago. He goes, we're going to go up to the house and have our 10-year anniversary.
I was talking in a sequel. Did you hear anything about this?
Not yet.
I can't remember what it was called, but I think Terence Stamp's character's back in England, I think, and I don't know how that would work really, but it's Terence Stamp. He's not on screen enough.
And I remember just shooting that, and I didn't have a visa because I went into the audition as an American, and then a week before Soderbergh found out that I was Australian, and he just went, "Oh my God, you're Australian?" I said, "Yeah." So he had to buy me a visa. It's like $3.5 grand. So because of him, I got to stay in the country.
Fantastic.
But I loved that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just talking like an American.
Yeah. Peter Fonda.
It was great. It's great. So I mean, really, I took, not for financial reasons, I took some interesting, great films at the beginning of my career, and I think that's sort of, every year is different, of course, given the climate of the industry. But the industry in America is pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad right now. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.